Congratulations! If you've made it this far, you have finalized your initial offer. At this point, you're probably wondering, is it any good? So I have a lot of people reach out to me and ask me, is this a good offer? Now, the key distinction I try to make throughout this process is that, yes, it can be helpful to get feedback from me or someone else, but ultimately what we need to do is validate your offer within the marketplace. So I'm going to show you how to ask your market if your offer looks good instead of asking my opinion. Your market is really the only place that you can actually validate whether or not you have a good offer. So let's talk about what an offer is actually for. The sole purpose of your offer is to get the right people on a strategy session to see if you can help them. That's the only purpose of the offer, is to get that person on the phone so that you can actually dig in, find out what their problems are, and then make a more complex offer to them to solve their problems. So the job of your offer is to weed out the wrong people, attract the right people, and get your prospect interested enough to get on the phone with you. The purpose of your offer is not to sound good to you, to me, or anyone else who is not a prospective client, okay? So it doesn't matter how polished this thing is, it doesn't matter if it sounds good to an English major, it doesn't matter if it's completely grammatically incorrect. What matters is, does your perfect prospect respond to it? The purpose of your offer is not to make you look cool or to impress people, okay? Now, I should reiterate that your offer is like a raw piece of clay. What that means is you have to whittle away at your offer until it becomes something beautiful. And in this case, beautiful means effective. It means that your prospect sees it and has a visceral reaction. So here's how that process works. We take your offer to market, we get feedback, we rework your offer, and then repeat as many times as necessary. This should be an ongoing process for the life of your business. You always want to be receptive to the feedback that you're getting from your actual customers. Remember, your job as a business is to help people solve problems in whatever way is most effective as possible. So you always need to keep a pulse on the market, and you always need to consider how the market is responding to your offer. So don't be afraid to have a dynamic offer here. This is what we need to do now. We need to take your offer to the market, we need to get feedback on it, and then rework it, just like whittling away at a piece of clay until it becomes what our initial vision is. So we have to do what is called engage in a dialogue with reality. That means we can think all we want about our offer in isolation, but until we engage in a dialogue with reality, we're not going to know how people will actually respond to what we have to offer. Now, getting on strategy sessions is the absolute best way to find out what the market really wants. Money talks, and if people are willing to pay for what you have to offer, that means you have it dialed in, okay? So that's ultimately what we're working towards. Now, if you want to whittle away at the clay right now before you get to that point, we can do that. So the goal right now is just to get you to version 1.0 of your offer so you can start getting on strategy sessions. So you can move on to the next module, learn how to sell, learn how to generate leads, and then go out there and talk to your actual prospects, okay? So we don't have to have things perfect right now, but we need a good enough version 1.0. So before we move on, go back to the last video. It's called Biggest Mistakes People Make, and watch it again. I don't care if you've already watched it 1 time or 10 times. Go watch it 1 more time and just run your offer through that criteria, because when people bring their offers to me, most of the time, if there's an issue with their offer, it is in this video and they just haven't taken the time to go ahead and watch through this enough times, okay? Once is never enough. You need to hear this stuff more than once to let it seep in. Now, if you've made it past this point, we're going to test different variations of your offer. We're going to engage in a dialogue with reality. So now that you have 1 offer done after the last exercise, we're going to write 2 more. I just want you to pull out different words from your 1-page customer avatar and create 3 different variations of your offer. They don't need to be vastly different. They can be tiny little tweaks to your offer. And then you're going to reach out to your survey respondents, your interviewees, these are the people that you got on the phone with and talked to in your market, and anyone else you've been talking to that fits your customer avatar during your initial research phase, okay? And then ask them to choose their favorite offer based on their initial emotional reaction. So this is important. we want first reactions to these things. We don't want to ask people if they sound good. We want to see what kind of response they have when no one is watching. And we want the offer that gives them the strongest initial response. So you're going to take the best offer based on this feedback and start getting strategy sessions, and then mold your offer based on what you learn on your strategy session. So I'm going to jump over to my one-page avatar real quick. You can see here is an old avatar. So this is from an old offer last year. Now, in this document, we have avatar's biggest frustrations and the avatar's dream situation. Now, our combination of offers is pretty much just pulled straight from these two things. So the question is, which of these sentences is going to produce the strongest emotional response in your prospect? So go ahead and go into your one-page avatar and just pull out a couple different ones to create your 3 offers, okay? And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So I have a little outreach template. You can grab your own copy just below this video. And here's what it looks like. It just says, "Hey name, how's everything? I created a new offer right now in my business and I value your opinion, so I was wondering if you could do me a quick favor. Can you pick whichever you respond to most strongly for part A and part B? A quick reply is all I need." So really we just want to know out of 1, 2, and 3, which one do they respond most strongly to? Like I said, we're not looking for them to tell us if it sounds good, if they like it, which one do they respond most strongly to, okay? So you're going to use that outreach template and send it out to as many people as possible. Like I said, you should reach out to the people that you interviewed during your customer research process that fit your customer avatar. You should get at least 10 responses to this, okay? So send out those 3 versions of the offer, get at least 10 responses. And if you need to, you can post it in a Facebook group, and it should be really easy to get this feedback, okay? People are willing to help with a little ask like this. Just make sure that that group consists of your actual target market. And then when you get a response to each outreach, put it in your tracking spreadsheet. Record each response and then just tally up the winners. It's already going to auto-calculate in the spreadsheet. I'll jump over to it in 1 second. And choose the winner based on votes. Make sure you have at least 10 people voting, the more the better. And when you have a clear winner on these 3 offers, go on to the next module. So like I said, you don't need to have a perfect offer right now. All you need is version 1.0, which needs to be good enough to go out there and start getting on the phone with people. And that's when you're really going to learn if you have a good offer or not. And like I said, this is going to change for anyone who's in business. Whether you're making $100,000 a month or you haven't made your first dollar, you're always going to be tweaking your offer. So don't think that you have to get this perfect. Here we are in the results tracking spreadsheet for your offer. So when you do outreach, anytime somebody responds and you get that email in your inbox or you get a comment on your Facebook ask in a group, just come in here and put the person's name here and then just mark which offer they liked best. And then at the bottom here, it's going to tally up the total, and you can very clearly see which one's going to come out on top, okay? So your spreadsheet is going to look like this. There's not going to be any numbers in it. So I just want you to put your name down the left-hand side, and then out of offer 1, 2, and 3, which one is the winner? And then after you have 10 people, you should begin to see a clear trend emerge. If you don't, you might want to try and get a couple more, maybe go for 20, and sooner or later, one of them is going to pull ahead. If one doesn't, most likely they're both good offers. So go through your one-page customer avatar, pull out some of that verbiage that you got straight from the market, create 3 different offers using that outline that we walked through in this module. Go out there, get feedback from your market, because I can't tell you whether or not your market's going to respond to that. Only the market can. Go get real feedback, engage in a dialogue with reality, and then put it behind you. Once you choose your offer, don't worry about it being perfect. Move on. Learn the strategy session script in the next module. Learn to generate leads and go out there and test it by getting on strategy sessions. That's all for now. I will talk to you soon.